Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission personnel and witnesses on cases related to its ongoing probe into illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators have reportedly been receiving death threats. PAOCC Executive Director Undersecretary Gilbert Cruz revealed this in a radio interview, but he admitted that for their staff, getting death threats might be part of their job. According to Cruz, the threats were meant to sow fear among PAOCC staff and influence their decision. He noted, however, that it could be different for witnesses as he expressed fear that they might give in to their worry and affect PAOCC's cases against Pogos. Cruz likewise disclosed that people behind the death threats also try to change the minds of their witnesses. According to the PAOCC official, these people have complete resources and connections, as well as the financial means to pay their witnesses to change the course of the government investigation. PAOCC, with the help of other government law enforcement agencies such as the Philippine National Police, has been carrying out raids on illegal Pogos. Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Tarriela, says the Chinese Coast Guard did not assist the PCG in the rescue of two injured Filipino fishers in the West Philippine Sea. The PCG earlier reported that 2 out of 8 Filipino fishermen suffered second-degree burns after their vessel's engine exploded near Bajo de Masinloc of Scarborough Shoal. In a post on X, Tarriela says the China Coast Guard deployed 2 rigid hull inflatable boats to obstruct and hinder the PCG's efforts to rescue the Filipino fishermen. Chinese state media earlier claimed the China Coast Guard supposedly helped in the rescue, but Tarriela says Chinese state media supposedly struggled with editing their videos. According to Tarriela, despite the interference from the China Coast Guard, the PCG managed to outmaneuver China's boats. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balilo also said China Coast Guard ships initially blocked the PCG's rescue efforts. According to Balilo, PCG's BRP Sindangan also received radio challenges as well as encountered shadowing by the China Coast Guard and People's Liberation Army Navy ships. But after hearing about the explosion, Balilo said the China Coast Guard eventually let BRP Sindangan through. The 2 injured fishermen rescued near Bajo de Masinloc in the West Philippine Sea arrived safely in Subic, Zambales early Monday morning. According to the Philippine Coast Guard, the 2 injured fishers on board BRP Sindangan arrived at the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority port at around 4:45 a.m. on Monday, July 1. The injured fishermen were immediately turned over for transport to the nearest hospital. 2 of the 8 fisher folk on board FFB Aquio suffered second-degree burns after their vessel's engine exploded near Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balilo said the China Coast Guard initially blocked BRP Sindangan, which was deployed to rescue the fishermen. Balilo said BRP Sindangan also received radio challenges as well as encountered shadowing by the China Coast Guard and People's Liberation Army Navy ships. According to Balilo, after hearing about the explosion, the China Coast Guard eventually let BRP Sindangan through. Balilo added the China Coast Guard also launched 2 rigid hull inflatable boats and offered to help rescue the 8 fishermen. But PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Tarriela, said the China Coast Guard deployed their boats not to assist the PCG but to supposedly obstruct and hinder efforts in rescuing the 2 injured Filipino fishermen. Motorists will continue to pay more for petroleum products this week, with oil firms implementing a new round of price increases starting Tuesday, July 2. In separate advisories on Monday, July 1, Sea Oil, Shell Pilipinas, and Petrogas say pump prices will jump by as much as 95 centavos, marking the 3rd consecutive week of hikes. The price of gasoline will climb by 95 centavos per liter, while the per liter price of diesel will advance by 65 centavos. Meanwhile, kerosene prices are set to rise by 35 centavos per liter. Last week, fuel prices surged by as much as 1 pesos and 75 centavos per liter.